Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, we've got a TFcon hangover, but the show must go on. Mike joins us as we go over a new third-party Doubledealer, an exclusive 2007 movie 15th Anniversary Studio Series set, and much more. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, 2022, and this is episode 495 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's enjoying the return of convention Christmas in July. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Creator, producer, and star of Empire of Rust, editor Mike.
Merry July, miss everyone.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us and keep the show going. It's your thoughts, prayers, and money that keep this show going, so we really appreciate it. And if you are not a Donatreon and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up. So, Daryl, you've been busy in the podcast mines. We've got another special episode coming up this week. I think we settled on a name, didn't we? For like we're talking Transformers. What's the name? You had the name. What's the name?
Did Daryl? I don't know. I've just been calling them special episodes. But if you want to call them Talking Transformers, that's fine with me. But it's Talking Transformers and Other Things, I think, is what, it's because I sat down with a bunch of different people, and this episode that we've got coming out on Thursday is me talking with Maz from the Triple Takeover podcast. And he, I've known Maz online only because I've never met him in person, but I've known of him for quite a long time. He takes some of the most gorgeous photos of Transformers and other similarly robotic things, and I've wanted to chat with him about the photography and some of the other passions that he has, because he's really into cars, and I am also a very big car nut myself. So I also wanted to talk to him about that, and being in Iceland, because he lives in Iceland now, and I wanted to talk to him about that. So plus we also have this thing about Transformers that we all have in common. So I really wanted to chat with him about all those things. So it was really interesting for me to sit down and chat with Maz. Plus, he's got this podcast, Triple Takeover, that has just kind of hit the podcast sphere by storm, and it's a really fun ride.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I thought, let's talk Transformers with Daryl, because that's your tagline, right? So
but it's not just Transformers; it's other things too. So.
I know. It's okay.
People already know you're a liar, so.
Oh.
Wow.
Take that.
I go for the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, check out the next exciting episode of Let's Talk Transformers with Daryl, featuring Maz from Triple Takeover, coming this Thursday. So tomorrow, as you're listening to this, it'll be out tomorrow. So enjoy. And it'll be right here in the feed. So if you are subscribed to the main Transmissions feed, you should get access immediately. All right. Also this week, of course, we had the next episode of our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast as Empire of Rust. And this was episode 80, The Irish Bodyguard. And yeah, it just came out this Monday, July 18th. So as you're listening to this, you should already have access to this. It's also in the feed. If you are not on the main Transmissions feed, you can also go directly to the Empire of Rust feed at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. That's where you can get all those episodes. Mike, anything special you want to tease for this week's episode?
A lot of finger snapping.
Okay.
And I'll just leave that right there.
All right. Yeah, I think that I definitely got a little bit of the vibe, I want to talk to your manager in this episode. So,
yep.
I think people should enjoy that. And also, a little while ago, myself, Jeremy, and Dr. Pants were invited by Mike to try out the Transformers deck building card game, and we did an online playthrough of that. So we've got to, and we did record it for some reason, so we're going to put it out for everyone to see. And Mike, you did all the editing and production on this. So how do you think it turned out?
Yeah, I actually really love the way it came out. I used to do video editing a lot more previously than in the last couple of years, but it was fun kind of getting back into that. So what we did is we popped it up on Tabletop Sim over on Steam, and then we just got together and played, because Tabletop Sim is just that. It's a tabletop simulator, and you can play card games, board games, and what have you straight on it. So it was a fun time. So got everything up on there, and yeah, the four of us just played through it, and it was a fun time. It was a really great time. It was, I think, one of the first times I was actually able to play the game straight through, and I think it might have been the first time for some of you guys as well. Was it the first time for you, Charles, Jeremy? Was it? Or
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
I mean, it had a pretty steep learning curve, but then once we got into it, towards the end of the game, it was just a blast.
Mm-hmm.
If you're familiar with deck building games, it'll go a little smoother. Like if you're like a Dominion or something like that, you'll get the concepts pretty easily. But it does feel different than that. So there's some really neat stuff with it. So yeah, we're going to be releasing it over next week, over 4 days, because it was a good 3 hours or so to actually go through the game from start to finish. That was including like teaching how to do it and kind of going through some sample turns with everyone too. So yeah, we split it up into a couple episodes, and we will be releasing those next week for all of you folks to enjoy.
Yep, and that'll be all on our YouTube channel. So this won't be an audio thing, so you'll have to watch it on YouTube and see all our smiling faces as we go through it.
Yeah, it would be pretty hard to follow just audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Daryl was invited, but he declined, so we did not exclude Daryl on purpose for anything.
I'm starting to think it's just me at this point.
No,
you're giving me a complex here, Daryl.
No, it's not you. It's the material. It's I am not that kind of fan. So I'm I don't play those games. I'm not a fan of those kind of stuff. That kind of stuff. So I don't enjoy it. That's why I don't do it.
We still love you, Daryl. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, 2/3 of us still love you.
Wow. Okay.
Jeremy, that was an incredibly mean thing to say. Jeez.
All right, let's talk some toys.
I'm just kidding. I'm sure Jeremy loves you too.
Most of the time.
All right. Thank God. I was dying here. Let's start off the show this week by talking about a prototype that we've got that came out this week. This is from Mastermind Creations, and it is their R51 Predator Nimbus. I'm sure I'm screwing that name up, but it's my best shot. And it is a test shot of their G1 Doubledealer. And we just saw a Doubledealer get revealed, and that was at TFcon in their third-party panel, but that was by Fans Hobby. So this is a heavy retool of the Mastermind Creations DZEF, and it's their IDW Deathsaurus. So they are heavily retooling this thing and turning it into a Doubledealer. And you can take a look at some of these pictures here, and you can really see that, I mean, the only thing that kind of resembles the fact that it was a Deathsaurus is the fact that it still has the giant chicken mode that Deathsaurus has. So it's still got this giant bird as one of its modes. Other than that, it's a very different figure here. So I'm very impressed with this. Doubledealer's he's a very cool character. He's got the double target mask, or the double Power Masters, and you can see both of them here. And yeah, he's a cool looking character, man. It's interesting to see. I want to see the colors. I mean, I can kind of peg it, as far as, what it's going to look like, but those final colors are always kind of important. I was really hoping to see the IDW, like the Mastermind Creations Deathsaurus at TFcon, because if it was there, I probably would have walked out with one. But alas, it was not at the show. So, we'll see. But this is one of those figures, this Doubledealer, that I might look at getting if I don't end up with a Deathsaurus. Mike, is there a third party Deathsaurus in your future?
Deathsaurus? Maybe. Doubledealer? Not so certain.
Doubledealer too? Yeah, sure.
Well, I'll be honest with this. The first time I saw these images, I thought it was a Deathsaurus. I really did. And it's not a bad figure. I do like the look of it, but I can't not see that giant chicken mode from Deathsaurus. So I'm really just like, that's like the only vibe I'm really getting from it on this. I have the which one? The Siege, Earthrise, whichever one it was, the latest
Earthrise.
one. Yeah, I do have that one. I think I'm satisfied with it. This is a cool looking figure. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know, just not for me. I think because I already have one, so I'm not in the market for a third party figure of a figure that I already have that I don't love that much. So,
okay.
But I will say, like, the look of the figure though, really amazing, really solid. As long as you can get past the giant chicken mode, you're good. The double Power Masters on it they both look pretty amazing. They both look very posable too, considering the size of the figures. So that's really nice. But yeah, so it's certainly a pass for me. But I can really appreciate the look. I would like to see the Autobot face close up though, because it's looking nice. I do kind of want to see it in more detail. So yeah,
cool, right on. Charles, if you add this with the Deathsaurus, then you're well on your way to a robotic chicken coop, and we're well aware of your affinity towards robotic chickens. So what say you on the addition of this robotic chicken?
I liked him better when he was a vulture. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's that. Yeah. I mean, it is. I thought Doubledealer. I mean, I did take a quick look at TFU.info to look at the original Doubledealer figure, and yeah, I mean that beast mode. I guess I thought it was originally a vulture. Like he's supposed to be like a scavenger, right? I mean, because that's
you're probably right.
Mercenary. But this mode is it is very chicken. Like he's got a lot of junk in the trunk there. His legs are very are very wide, and not he's not flying anywhere with this in this chicken mode here. And I mean, I think it's actually it looks pretty cool in all three modes. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have an affinity for Doubledealer. I'd say the Deathsaurus probably wore it better. Like the chicken mode for the kaiju chicken mode was better than vulture chicken mode, I guess. So I would say probably go with if you can find the Mastermind Creations Deathsaurus figure, I'd say that's a better version of this than this mold here. So I mean, unless you're a big fan of Doubledealer, but it's not for me. But it still looks okay, I guess.
All right. And Jeremy, it's a tank with a rocket, big rocket. you like bombing with chickens? Doubledealer.
No, I mean, I don't know. Doubledealer has never really been a character I've had a big attachment to. I think this looks good, and for the most part, outside of what everyone has said about the chicken mode, I think they've done a good job retooling it.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, they call this a gray test shot, and this is clearly just, they took the pictures and applied a black and white filter onto it.
I was just going to say,
probably because
yeah.
it still has the colors from the Deathsaurus, I'm sure. So it wouldn't make sense. But, I'm wondering if black and white photos are going to become the new gray test shot, where they just take what they have and just make it grayscale. But, it's interesting photography. And I don't know. I think this looks good. It will probably hit its market, but it's just not for me just because of the character.
Cool. Well, that's it. That's all I had this week. What did you bring, Jeremy?
I have something that we'll probably get more information this weekend at San Diego Comic-Con, but we have some hints on the Earthspark toy line from Hasbro Ignite 2022, and it looks like it's going to have 3 play patterns. There's going to be surprise conversion, classic conversion, and magic conversion. And so classic is obviously going to be your, what we have now, manual stuff. Surprise conversion, my speculation is it would be like when we had like the cars that would like hit something and then transform. And then magic would probably involve some other object like we've had with the Cyberplanet keys and things like that trigger the transformation. So I don't know. I think it's neat. Obviously there's this is going to be similar to the Cyberverse line tied into the show, not really targeted towards those of us that are in the Generations camp, but I am excited to see what they do here. And then it also says that a spin changer will be priced similar to an ultra class toy. So that is going to be pretty big, and they're going to release in 2023. So like I said, we'll probably find out more this weekend, but wanted to bring this up because Earthspark is coming quickly. So the other thing I have to talk about here is we have a picture of the packaging for the Tonkanator, the G1 Devastator recolor, and they have basically taken the classic Devastator gift set and done it up in yellow for Tonkanator, and we have all the names for the different components. They're all Autobots. We have Mega Dozer, Skyhook, Power Digger, Mega Hauler, Motor Load, and Motor Mix. So I think they did a fantastic job on that packaging art. And I really wish we would get a regular G1 colored box set like this again. But Mike, do you have any thoughts on the Earthspark stuff or the Tonkanator? Because we haven't talked to you since that was announced.
So the Earthspark, not especially. I mean, aside from the trailers that showed up for Earthspark, I haven't really been keeping up too much with that news. I mean, just from what you guys have been saying, I'll take a look. I am not 100% certain that I'm really the target market for that. So, as far as Tonkanator goes, I think that I was on when this was announced, and no, I'm sorry, I was not. I was on like the week before that. So my thoughts on Tonkanator are a little complicated. When it was first announced, I was like, "Oh, what is this shit? Just get rid of this. I don't need this in my life." The more I've seen it, the more I've come to appreciate it, and seeing the actual box set on this is kind of tempting, and it looks kind of nice. I probably wouldn't take it out of the package, but I'm a little tempted to pick it up if it would have to be an in-store pickup because it's not something I'm going to pre-order. But if I saw this in stores, I would be hard pressed not to pick this up, I think, at this point.
Yeah, awesome. And this is a Target exclusive for Tonkanator.
I have one Target near me. Well, Target exclusive, I think in the US, it's something else somewhere else.
Yeah, Daryl, you don't have Targets, but I'm sure you're going to get the Tonkanator somewhere. What are your thoughts on these two things? Well,
the Earthspark stuff is like you said, it's completely out of my wheelhouse. It's an easily avoidable thing for me. But if it's still around when my son starts watching TV, then yeah, I'll put it on for him. But as far as the toys go, I mean, right now he loves playing with his Rescue Bots Optimus Prime. So, if it's similarly like that, then I can give it to a 2-year-old. He'll be 2 by the time this comes out. So yeah, I'll look at them, but it's one of those things that if I can kind of brainwash them into liking Transformers at a young age, then I'll do that. I'm not opposed to doing that. But yeah, as far as that goes, I'm personally not interested. But if I can use it to kind of to bring my kid into it, then I will. As far as the Tonkinator stuff goes, that original G1 art is classic. So repurposing that for Tonkinator, that's brilliant marketing right there. I like the way it looks. It looks great. The names are fun and work well. Anybody getting this, I'm sure it's going to be very similarly made to the reissue of Devastator that came out a couple of years ago. So yeah. If you're looking to get it and thinking that it's going to go up in value, I don't know about that. That's it's Tonkinator. It's not Devastator. It's Tonkinator. But yeah, it's a fun little take on it. And for people that are they're like, oh, it's the yellow Devastator. Well, that it has existed before. It is the G2 Devastator that came out. It was yellow, and there was an orange one too. So maybe think about that. But yeah, no, it's a fun looking box, and I have no idea where this would show up here in Canada. Maybe at a GameStop or something like that. But yeah, because they sometimes get the Target stuff. Maybe a Toys R Us, they get Target stuff too. But yeah, it could land anywhere or nowhere.
Yeah. All right. And Charles, you do have Targets, and you think you also have Nickelodeon, maybe? What are your thoughts on both of these things?
So, Earthspark, I'm curious about. I definitely am willing to give it a shot. I don't know, like, if it's aimed at rescue, like at the Rescue Bots audience or at the Cyberverse audience.
Yeah, I think it's more Cyberverse.
Okay.
Older kids.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then I'll definitely give it a shot. I mean, I was not particularly excited about Cyberverse before I watched it, and then it turned out to be a really great show. So I really enjoyed Cyberverse. So if Earthspark is as good as Cyberverse, I'd say that's great. What I was not really excited about with Cyberverse were the toys. So, like, I don't think I bought any Cyberverse toys, because just they didn't appeal to me. I mean, they were. I mean, it felt like they were a step down from the normal, Generations line, which, I mean, I think what was it? The Transformer, when we had Transformers Prime, now over 10 years ago, those toys were still targeted at kids, but they were still like, well done toys. I don't know. Yeah. And DJ Rowan is in the chat saying, I didn't get, with Rack and Ruin. And I did want to get Rack and Ruin, but I never found them. I never saw them in stores, and I didn't track them down. So,
there's one at TFcon this weekend.
Oh, there was? Well, I never saw it. Oh, well.
Couldn't pull you away from Andrew Wildman for 10 seconds to get into the dealer room.
But yeah, I mean, but I wonder what the Earthspark toys are going to be like, and hopefully, the Earthspark toys maybe are more appealing than the Cyberverse toys were. I mean, I can only hope. I have no speculation to go on to say whether that'll be good or bad, but I guess we'll see. For the Tonkinator, I kind of have no interest in it. I mean, I feel like I'd rather have a Devastator reissue. I know we already got a Devastator reissue. I mean, a G2 Devastator reissue would be great. I have no affinity for repurposing Devastator as Tonka Autobots. Like, I don't have any nostalgia for Tonka trucks, I guess. I mean, for those who do, that I guess it's great, enjoy, but for me, it's kind of a hard pass for me.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's really expensive, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is everything I have this week. Mike, what do you have?
So over on Hasbro Pulse social media, they surprised us with a big reveal for the Amazon exclusive Transformers Studio Series Movie 07 15th Anniversary Multi-Pack. Big long title, but you know what? This is a 5-pack of reissues of the Studio Series bots from the '07 movie line. So there's a Voyager Prime in there. That was Studio Series 32. And then there's an Ironhide, which is 14. Ratchet 04, Jazz 09, and Bumblebee 49. The maskless Bumblebee specifically. And yeah, so this is a 5-pack Amazon exclusive of these 5 bots, kind of capitalizing on that kind of initial bunch of bots. So the links for it is already live on Amazon for pre-orders, and it is scheduled for release on December 1st of this year. But also, according to this article, there is going to be some limited quantities available on Hasbro Pulse. So if you are on the premium service for Hasbro Pulse, you probably have a good chance of getting this there if you want to. It's also got a backdrop kind of to display the 5 figures on, but yeah. Let's see here. Charles, why don't I start off with you? Do you have any of these original figures? Does the 5-pack here appeal to you at all?
Not really. I mean, I do have some. I had some movie figures in the past. I think, my kids were younger. I got them a Bumblebee. I had a Starscream, like a movie, 2007 movie Starscream. He's not in this set, but I mean, these are only the Autobots. But I was never. I mean, we've talked about this on the show before. I've never been a fan of the movie aesthetic, so I've never really collected a lot of the movie toys. So I mean, I definitely see this is a draw for people who are nostalgic for the 2007 movie, which is weird to say since it still feels like 2007 was not that long ago. But yeah, I mean, I guess all the kids who saw this in 2007 are now grown up and are looking to scratch their nostalgia itch. So enjoy. I will not be joining you.
It is 15 years ago there, Charles. So this was someone's G1.
No, I totally acknowledge that, and I support you and celebrate your nostalgia. So please enjoy, but I will not be buying this.
How about you, Jeremy? Have you picked up any of the Studio Series stuff and any interest in this Studio Series thing?
The only Studio Series I have is 86, and that's really all of the interest I have. So I won't be picking these up. I think I only have 1 or 2 movie toys in, even outside the Studio Series, and didn't really like them, so I just didn't get any others. So happy for all the people that do enjoy the movie stuff, but this is not for me. So I do like the backdrops though, because one of them is the house where they were like destroying all the plants and everything, trying to hide, and the other one was the alley where Sam first encounters the Transformers. So I appreciate what they're doing here. I really like that, but just the figures are not for me.
All right. Daryl, you have a bunch of the Studio Series figures. Do you have any of these and any interest in this set?
So I do have a couple Studio Series figures that are not 86. But I do have one of these. I have the Optimus Prime, still Studio Series 32. And that one specifically is probably the best figure out of this entire 5-pack, because that's the figure that combines with the Jetfire. So Studio Series 35. So if you can track down a Studio Series 35, then you can really make use of this 5-pack. The rest of this 5-pack though, the Ironhide, the Ratchet, the Jazz, and the Bumblebee, they're kind of garbage. So they're all the Jazz, the Ratchet, and then the Ironhide are all really early Studio Series figures, and like we're into the 70s now with the Studio Series, non 86 line, and I don't know how many frickin' Bumblebees we've gotten, but this is Studio Series 49 Bumblebee, but man, oh man, this is is this the best Bumblebee? Oh, damned if I know, but it's one of a vast amount that has been released in this line. And But the only thing that really kind of irks me on this is the fact that this is another ginormous freaking multi-pack. So, okay, they keep releasing these multi-packs, and sure, this is a 2007 anniversary multi-pack, but do you really need to spend $150 to get, to buy this set? Like, I don't know. Were these figures really that popular? The Optimus Prime's really popular and hard to get, but do you need to buy 4 other garbage figures to get the Optimus Prime? I would say no, but that's just me. Somebody else that's maybe really into the Studio Series line can maybe comment and let me know whether these figures are in fact garbage, because I've messed with a bunch of these at the shop that I help out at, and I really don't like them. But then again, I got a pretty hard bias against these figures, so that's probably showing here. But I really don't like the fact that they're putting out these multi-packs, because A, they're crazy expensive, and B, there's might be only 1 or 2 figures in this entire thing that somebody might want, right? The other multi-pack we got is the most recent buzzworthy Bumblebee one, where everyone just wants the gold bug, right? Who gives a crap about the rest of the 3 figures in that multi-pack? But that gold bug is going to sell that thing, and they know it. So they're packaging it with a whole bunch of other junk. So yeah, this is, I don't know. I see the point of doing it, but I don't like it. So I'm thankful that I have the Optimus that I wanted, because I do have the Jetfire and I can combine them and be happy with the piece that I have. But for anyone out there who's been having a hard time finding an Optimus Prime, this is not the way to go about getting one.
Yeah, Daryl, one thing, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but if you look at the cost of this and then the cost of Tonkinator, for someone whose G1 was the movies, I can see where they would have the value of that, while they're looking at us. It's like, why would you pay $100 for, this G1 figure that's like, so small compared to the modern figures and stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, I can see that for sure, because Tonkinator is only like, what, $20 cheaper than this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of toy, you're getting much more toys. With
tons more.
Studio Series.
Yeah. Tons more toy with this. And I get that for sure. The price on Tonkinator is outrageous.
Yeah.
That's a really good point there, too. That's like 6 G1 figures, just all plastic. And yeah, you're spending like $120 for these. And this 5-pack is like it's listed for $142 on Amazon. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a rough pill to swallow. All right. Well, I think it's safe to say it's a pass for most of us. It's a pass for myself as well. I picked up some of the movie line figures back when they came out in 2007, and I still have a bunch of them too. So, if those are the ones that I like, I already picked them up, so I don't need to get the Studio Series versions of them, even though there's better engineering and everything with it. But yeah, it's a pass for me as well. But for those of you who did grow up with the movie and that was your G1, this is your chance to grab those Studio Series figures if you missed them and if you want them. But like Daryl said, if you're just looking for the Prime, don't spend $140 on it. You find some aftermarket thing, look at eBay. I'm sure you can find the Prime if that's all you want. So with that being said, Charles, why don't you go ahead and bring us home?
All right. Well, continuing the Studio Series theme, maybe this is a Studio Series figure that we'll be a little bit more interested in, given our biases. So there we have new images of Studio Series 86 Core Class Wheelie. So this has not been, officially announced yet. Probably it will be at SDCC tomorrow if it looks like it's gotten out there, so they'll probably just throw it include it in their in Hasbro's presentation. But I guess this is to make up for the terrible Wheelie that got packaged with the Studio Series 86 Grimlock. Now we're getting a much better Wheelie. And this is a core class figure, so this is the new legend sized figure, so tiny. And he comes with a slingshot too, so and looks pretty good. In both robot mode and vehicle mode, looks very reminiscent of the '86 movie animation model. It looks good. So, being a fan of the 86 movie and the Studio Series 86 line in general, I think this is one I'd like to get. I'm still looking for the core class Spike as well. I think I did see a couple at TFcon last weekend, but they were pretty, like, the prices were pretty high there. I think this is another good 86 movie nostalgia representation here. Daryl, what do you think of this Wheelie? Is this better than the Grimlock Studio Series 86 Grimlock Wheelie?
Well, I mean, the bar for that Wheelie is on the ground. So this this got over that bar, Charles. Yes. I like this one. It's better. The price point is going to definitely help. Here in Canada, these figures are, I think, about $15. So, I'll pick this up. The fact that they've made this and they've got the Studio Series Spike, Daniel. I don't know what the hell is he. Spike? I think he's Spike.
It's Spike. So,
does that mean that they're going to redo all the characters that they included with the Dinobots? I guess I don't think. I mean, I haven't gotten one yet, but all the pictures I've seen show that Sludge doesn't come with anybody. So I don't think they have to worry about redoing anybody else. Maybe they learned their lesson. But yeah, I like this one just for what it is. It's very basic. There's not a lot of things you got to do on it. The transformation looks very simple, and that's fine. These little core class figures are exactly what they should be. They should be real basic and easy little fiddle formers. And that it does what it needs to do, and hopefully it'll be able to ride on Grimlock's back, so that you can just simply throw away the one that came with Grimlock, because that's the only thing you can do with it. I see the hands don't transform or do anything, so they just hang out the back of the alt mode, which is just hilarious to me. But other than that, I mean, it's fun. It doesn't need to do much for a $15 toy here in Canada. I don't expect a whole hell of a lot. I should, because that used to be the deluxe price. But this is it's fine for what it is, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Inflation's a bitch. Mike, what do you think of this figure?
I have the Titans Return Wheelie. I don't want to double dip on this. I don't want to double dip on a Wheelie. It looks decent. It's okay. I'm going to rant for a second here. This is like the problem that I have with Transformers nowadays. It's like they made small improvements and small changes to make it look just a little bit better than the previous version they put out. Just enough where you're like, oh, hey, maybe I want to get this new version. It's like, no, Hasbro, I'm not going to play this game with you anymore. Just stop it. So I can't justify spending the money on another Wheelie when I don't have that much of an attachment to Wheelie to begin with. I picked up the Titans Return, like the Legends figure. It's like, you know what? I'm fine with that. Like, it's good. I don't need it. It looks decent, but yeah, it's. I don't need to double dip or more on a figure like this. If you don't have a Wheelie in this size class, this is actually a neat pickup. But yeah, certainly a pass for me. And I'm right there with you, Charles. I've never seen the exosuit Spike or Daniel in stores, so never picked him up. That's a figure I might actually enjoy picking up too.
Yeah. No, that's definitely fair enough. I mean, we are getting. I mean, not to continue your rant, Mike, but I think it looks like I mean, it seems like fully half the legacy figures coming out are just re-releases of the Earthrise, Kingdom, and Siege figures, like without and with the battle damage taken off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting a lot of recycling these days.
The movie line, like the '07 movie line, is when I think that first started this kind of nonsense. When you got like 4 different primes in like 4 different size classes, it's like, I don't need to double dip this much for a figure. I'll just pick the one I like, and then that's that. And then, of course, like the next, like, you know, in the Revenge of the Fallen line, they released a prime that was significantly better than the first one. It's like, screw you, stop it, just stop it.
So the solution is you just have to wait and keep waiting and keep waiting.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be a better figure. So you just got to keep waiting.
God, yeah. Yep.
Just like buying a PC. Just keep waiting. There's always going to be an upgrade.
Yep.
All right. Jeremy, any positivity to inject in this conversation now?
Save us.
It's definitely better than the one that came with Grimlock.
Yes.
I mean, but like Daryl said, that bar is on the floor, so it didn't take much. I think this is a fine figure. I mean, it has joints, which is great. My biggest issue is like what Daryl said with the hands just kind of sticking out of the back of the vehicle mode. I would have hoped that at the very least that hands are removable, but I can't tell from here.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a shame because it's such a easy little fix they could have done. But beyond that, I think it's fine. I never really liked his vehicle mode anyway, so if I got him, he would be in robot mode next to Grimlock. So the other one would be in the trash. So, it's good. It's just, I hate the price. So I don't know. I might have to get it just to replace the one that came with Grimlock. So it's functional and fills the gap that they created with the Grimlock one.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all our toy topics. So we will move on to trips to the store. All right. This is the part of the show where we show off all the cool Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition on our YouTube channel. But we'll have the audio right here so you can listen as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
All right. Well, yeah, let's get into what we got this week. So, Mike, you're going to go first.
All right. I cannot compete with all of the TFcon hauls from these folks, so I am going to go first and show off a couple of things I picked up over the last month. One Transformers-related thing and one non-Transformers-related thing. Screw you, Daryl. It's going to happen. First thing I'm going to show
mute his mic. Mute his mic. Do it now.
Is the Demona figure from NECA Toys from the Gargoyles series. I had her on pre-order at BBTS and it never showed up, but I found her in a Target the other day. If you have not looked at the NECA Toys Gargoyles figures, these are really, really good, high-quality figures. And yeah, so they're doing like the whole series. So if you're a fan of Gargoyles, fan of NECA, fan of just cool-looking toys, that's an option for you.
It was probably one of the best cartoons of its era.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Big fan of Gargoyles.
Yep. The Transformers thing I got was courtesy of DJ Ronan. He hooked me up with it's a little bright, but a Power of the Primes Jazz for the upcoming custom combiner that I was putting together. So now I have all of the pieces. In fact, I have more than enough pieces to actually put the combiner together. All I really need now is to pick up the feet. So if anyone has, I forget the number, I think it's like PC08 or something like that, specifically like the gray feet that Perfect Effect did for the Combiner Wars figures.
Good luck.
I'm looking to, yeah, I know, right?
You might want to try looking for a KO one of that. I know they KO'd them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I might have to, because even like the blue ones, like the normal color releases are impossible to find, and the gray ones, oof. God. Yeah, but that's the last piece I really need for it. But I do have some spare stuff I picked up from, I forget the company, but it wasn't Perfect Effect, but some blue feet that I'm going to use at least temporarily. So next time I'm on, you will see the combined version with all the figures that I put together, and we'll see which one looks best. I ended up getting an Off-Road, a Trailbreaker, 2 Jazzes, a Ricochet, and a Pro and a First Aid. So I have plenty of different options as to what I want to use for the limbs here.
Is that the MAGA Jazz?
It is. Yep. And I took a look to see if it was the original one or one of the later line ones. And yep, it's the Mega Jazz. So fun times.
I wonder if we got that from the store that we both go to, because recently the store has gotten in like 3 of those freaking Combiner Wars Jazzes. So there's so many of them in there right now. But yeah.
Maybe. I know I think he had it for a little while and just didn't want it anymore, so he hooked me up with it. So
yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I got for this week. So yeah.
All right. I guess I will go next. So yes, myself, Jeremy, and Daryl all went to TFcon, and we all got a bunch of stuff. So
I noticed you didn't invite me, Charles.
You were invited.
I needed a formal invitation. Thank you.
I wasn't going to come pick you up. I mean, that's where I draw the line. All right. Well, first I want to show off some comics that Daryl gave me. He surprised me. These are
not Transformers related either. That's.
But you gave them to me, Daryl. I learned it from watching you, Daryl.
I'm also going to have non-Transformer things that Daryl gave me.
What the hell has this show become?
It's your fault. It's your own fault, Daryl. You shouldn't have given us stuff. So these are some African American themed comics from a lot. Well, some I think this is from the 90s. The others are from different eras, but yeah, this is Zero, or I guess Xer Zero or something like that. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but apparently it's being turned into a movie with 50 Cent, or 50 Cent created the comic. He's involved in some way.
He's making the movie,
something.
Yeah,
he's making the movie. So yeah, so maybe this will go up in value.
It's already like $50.
Well, there you go. This is Black Goliath. So this is a old school Marvel comic. And yeah, because you demanded it, in his own mind bending mag at last. Action-packed first issue. So okay, now the Truth series. So Daryl got me the first issue last year, and now he got me issues 2, 3, 4, and 5. So
that's the rest of the series,
of
right?
7.
7. So I need 2 more issues. So
yeah,
next year.
Yeah. But I think Daryl's left that as an exercise for me to track down the last 2 issues. So,
that's right. Yeah.
But thank you, Daryl. I do appreciate these comics. These are all cool finds and pickups, and I appreciate them. And thanks for sending them in. Thanks for giving them to me. Thanks for the gift.
No problem.
All right, now we do have some Transformers themed stuff. I believe the show creator was Paul Davids. He worked on the G1 animation back in the 80s, and he was selling the film strips from Cosmic Rust. You probably will not be able to see this at all very well, but this is Perceptor and Megatron in 4 frames of animation from the original reel of film from the episode. So yeah, a little piece of G1. Mm-hmm. So that's very cool.
He just cut that shit out for you too, and just gave it to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just took the 35 millimeter and just.
Yep.
Damn.
And we all got a piece. We all got pieces. So that was very cool.
I have put on my Twitter. I figured out a good way to get a picture of it and put it on my Twitter, so we can link that in the show notes.
Yeah.
My Twitter. Have you heard of that? Yeah. I found my studio light, my cheap, like $25 newer USB light thing. I put it on there and then took a picture, and it looked good.
I was actually thinking of like maybe you can be like make a little shadow box thing or buy like a little shadow box thing and put a light inside and like hang that up.
That's my goal, is to have something like that where I could turn off the light and not have it on all the time. But yeah.
Yep. So we had the charity auction, the return of the TFcon charity auction. I donated a bunch of the things I was trying to sell. I mean, you might have seen the sales things I was showing off a little bit the last few months, but I figured, I'm trying to just get rid of some clutter, and I donated a bunch of toys, and I got a bunch of raffle tickets. I didn't know they were doing a raffle for people who donated stuff, but they were. And I just there were several items they were raffling off. I put tickets in, and I won a couple. So I won the TFcon Axis. So this is I guess a repaint of Shafter from 2014. He's a evil huffer, evil all black huffer. And Stronghold. This is a little headmaster figure with weapons. So pretty cool. So thank you, TFcon. And I believe they made over $10,000 in the charity auction. So
that's one wish.
Yeah, at least one wish fulfilled by the folks at TFcon. So congratulations for that. Also, we had Andrew Wildman was at the show. This is my first time meeting Andrew Wildman in person, classic G1 comics artist. I did buy his sketchbook, and of course he signed it.
And check out our alt mode last week with the interview where Charles and Daryl got to talk with him.
Yep. And it was great meeting him, talking with him. He's a very cool guy. His art was some of my favorite from back in G1. And I had a bunch of comics that I got signed. So UK comics. So actually, I went to his panel, and in his panel, he showed off. This was basically the first UK comic that he did interior art for. And I happened to have it with me, so I got it signed. And I got a bunch of other UK comics signed, which these are almost all the comics he worked on in the UK, either covers or interiors, which was very nice to get them all signed. And also the US, Marvel US comics, I got those signed too. So we had all the UK comics and US up to issue 80, the final issue of back in the day. And then he went and did Regeneration 1 too, so I got a bunch of the Regeneration 1 issues signed as well. I was very happy to get all my Andrew Wildman stuff signed. So thank you so much to Mr. Wildman for letting me pull a Daryl and get everything signed. And he didn't complain or anything. He just smiled and laughed and let me do it. So I appreciate it. So the last thing I got, so this was not something I picked up at TFcon, but it arrived the day after I came back from TFcon, and it was something that I was very excited to get. It's actually still available if you if this is something you want. This is not like a rare item. It's something you can pick up right now if you want it. I got the Lego Optimus Prime. So there he is.
Nice.
He's got that. I stuck the Energon cube on the top of him, but you can pull that off
from that one episode.
There's the axe,
cube hat.
his Energon axe. He's got Sideswipe's rocket pack. I just stuck that on the back. So I'm showing him off in vehicle mode because I think Jeremy showed him off in robot mode when he showed him.
You can see him in robot mode over my head.
Right there. So here's the Sideswipe rocket pack. How
well did he hold together when you transformed it?
Pretty good. Yeah, no problems. I've transformed him a couple times, and he's pretty stable. Here is his laser rifle or ion blaster, which is a cool little item. I really like the Oh, go ahead.
The rifle was so fun to build, in my opinion. Just kind of like, it doesn't look like anything, and then at some point it comes together, and it's really cool.
Yeah, everything in this build was very satisfying. I like the way everything comes together. Like when you're putting the toy together, you're seeing all the ratchets and joints for how he transforms. It's really neat. There is a matrix inside, of course. There it is. And it's the transformation is really nice and smooth, well done. I mean, it's a well put together figure. It's amazing what they did with this guy. I know people complain about the leg, not having any knee joints, but I mean that didn't really bother me. Like it's a very well put together figure. I'm very impressed with this. I enjoyed putting it together. It's just a great Lego figure and a great Transformer. So I have no complaints for this guy. Yeah, I mean the one thing I will complain about though, actually,
I have
the
no
instruction
complaints except for its complaints.
Well, it's not about the figure; it's about the instruction booklet. So the instruction booklet is great. It's awesome. It has little fun facts about Transformers sprinkled throughout the book, which is really nice. The one thing I'll complain about at the beginning of the instruction booklet, it has the quote, "Autobots convert and roll out." No, never. No. It is never convert and roll out. No. There it is. Jeremy's showing it. No. That is wrong. I don't care about your trademark issues. No. Tell the lawyers to shut up. It's transform and roll out. Transform
look at
and
roll
languages.
Out. The other languages.
It is not convert and roll out. That is terrible. That is ridiculous.
It's just an English thing.
That's ridiculous. Other than that, everything else is great. While Jeremy and Daryl are showing off their stuff, I'm going to transform this guy because I want to show you how he looks compared to MPO1. So that's it for me. You'll just hear me doing stuff in the background.
Good. That won't be distracting at all.
All right, Jeremy, you're up next. What do you got?
All right. Well, first off, the non-Transformer things Daryl gave me because I no longer have a Unicron. It's gone. I drove it to Daryl's house because he couldn't sell it at TFcon.
Mm-hmm.
But in thanks for letting me hold it and move it with me and everything, Daryl gave me some comics. This first one, Daryl, you said it was just because it looks like Superman's fighting Popeye.
Yep.
And yeah, it's kind of funny. It looks like the guy's name is Captain Strong. I'd never heard of him before. So yeah,
but Superman, he's Popeye. He's Popeye.
Yeah. April 1985. So, towards the end before the Crisis reboot, they were probably doing some crazy stuff. But then you managed to get one of these JLA Avengers books that they just put out again because to help with George Perez. And this is amazing. I love this. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, not a problem. That was good.
Yeah, and in terms of TFcon stuff, I got some merch, some TFcon merch. In your interview with Colin, he mentioned that they're going to have some merch again. So I got a TFcon hat, and I have a pin somewhere. I can't find it. I'm going to have to dig it up, and I'll show it next week. It's really tiny, but that was cool. And then I got Vince DiCola was there. I got him to sign my my LP of the 86 soundtrack. I was kind of surprised at the price of autographs for the non-comic guests because that's a $50 autograph right there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. I mean, I how many times am I going to see him in the show? So I got that. And then from Andrew Wildman, I got this print of Grimlock. This is great. And he signed it. And I love that. Another old thing that I think, Daryl, you were holding for me from was this December TFcon?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the Beast Machines Writer's Bible, and Bob Skur signed it. So, being a fan of that show, like it. It's written by him and Marty Eisenberg. So, basically, just kind of going all in on the characters, their motivations, everything. It's really cool. And then before I get into toys, I got two more things. Oops, sorry. I have pre-COVID, I've been working on the Superman sketchbook and finally got to add one more to it. Andrew Lee Griffith did this version of Superman. It's kind of a Silver Age. I really like it.
Cool.
When I ask an artist to do this, I'm like, just whatever you picture Superman as, just that's what I want. I'm not giving you any other kind of preferences. Just I want your version. So like I have, let's see, this is what's the guy's name? Hold on. This is Buster Moody, who's worked on TMNT for IDW. It was kind of cool. And then Thomas Deere did this. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really cool one. And then Livio did the Cyborg Superman. So glad to be able to start getting back with that. And then speaking of Livio, I got this Darth Vader sketch from the recent Obi-Wan series with the cracked faceplate and stuff. So really like that. I also got the film, which I got in here, but I mean, you will see it just as well as you saw Charles's, so I'm not going to take it out. All right. And now toys. I got a couple things. Again, from Daryl, you had been kind of collecting stuff. I mentioned a few months ago my reissue G1 Bumblebee broke. Mine was the old keychain one, but you were nice enough to find one and put it in a box for me. So this the most recent reissue Bumblebee, and he's got the cartoon face, which I actually prefer over the G1 robot face. And then you threw in this little Micromaster Scourge Nemesis Prime in there, so that's cool. And then from Parts Party that our friend Arash was putting on, I bought a G2 Bumblebee. So this is cool, although one of the wheels doesn't turn. That's going to be a project, but you know, the gold looks good.
Yeah.
So shiny.
Yeah, very, very shiny. That was a gold bug right there.
Yeah.
And the last thing, which I haven't yet paid for, but I bought off of Charles, Masterpiece Soundwave, which, thank you, you'll get your money eventually.
I know you're good for it, Jeremy.
Yeah. I think that's it. I'll probably show off the Andrew Wildman comics I got signed next week, so I'll have something to show off next week. So that is all I got. Now everyone just sit back and here's Daryl.
I'm gonna let you finish, Daryl. Can I jump in before real quick?
Sure.
So I was able to transform him just in that time. So it was, I didn't break anything off. The transformation is pretty simple and intuitive, just like G1 Optimus Prime. And here is MPO1. He's actually, a little bit bigger than MPO1. MPO1 is definitely heavier with the die-cast metal.
Wait a second. Charles, you happen to have an MPO1 just sitting next to you right now. Just for this comparison.
I may have taken him out of the case before we started recording, just to have him ready.
Uh-huh.
I thought people would be interested in the size comparison. Size matters, right?
Yeah, I wanted to see it.
He's just a slightly bigger than MPO1. So pretty chunky figure. So
you just need to get a Sharpie and add some battle damage to the Lego.
All right, go ahead, Daryl. And now let's see TFcon Palooza.
I'm sorry, we've run out of time.
A lot of time. Yeah. I'm saving something for next week, but if you can see right above me there, somebody's got some arms now. So can look forward to that. I picked up some stuff from TFcon as well, and one of the things I got at a parts party there, I was able to trade some of the things one of the things I brought to sell, and part of that I picked up was Transformers Animated Rodimus Minor, still sealed on its card. So I was really happy to get that. It's one of those animated figures that I never actually got before. So to get them on, in sealed and package was a pretty big thing for me. I've got a couple animated figures sealed on card, so I was pretty happy to find this one. I picked up some original art. One piece from a Mr. Andrew Lee Griffith. This is from the book we are about to review in alt mode. So this is a very modern piece. It is page 6 of the Fate of Cybertron book, and they didn't have a title for it at the time, so he just labeled it as Finale. But you can see Computron and Skylinks in this, and a bunch of stuff going on here. So this is right as stuff's starting to ramp up in that book. So this was a great piece of art that I picked up from him, and I was really happy to get that. And then Andrew Wildman was there, and he brought some original art as well. And I picked up this piece from him, and this is from Regeneration 1, issue number 84. So a couple issues into the series there, and this is Megatron talking with Starscream with right on this side here. So that's Ratchet's head on the front of Megatron's little sled that he had going on, if you remember that series back in the day. And then there's some dead characters on the ground there. I've looked at that page, and it's epic. And if you'll recall, like, all this free space up here, that was stuff that John Paul, when he was coloring it, he used to tell the mood of the story. So he filled that with some really nice sky sight. So yeah, it's a really great page, and the art on here, it was just great art of Megatron and Starscream. So yeah, I was really happy to get that page as well. One of the other things I got, this is just one of those things when I go to conventions now, I'm looking at G1 toys like I always do, but I don't need many anymore to complete my North American run of G1. So I was able to find one, and this is Blackout and Space Shot in their anti-aircraft artillery thing. This is a Micromaster base, the Micromaster combiners and their little base thing, and it's fun. It's expensive. It was expensive, but it's one of those things that I had a couple pieces for, and it just seemed this was in way better condition than the pieces that I had, and to get the pieces I needed, I was going to be ending up spending what this thing costed anyway. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy the whole thing outright and be done with it. So I did, and I'm really happy to have this because it's this gets me that much closer to being complete on G1. So yeah, happy to have that. I also picked up some of those pieces of film. I have put them in top loaders because I had those sitting around and they were available. Did your guys, Jeremy, you said yours was 4 pieces of 4 frames?
No, I think mine's 5. Let me check my Twitter.
Mine was only 4.
Okay. Because I've got one that's 4, and I've got 2 that are 5. So, yeah.
Mine is 5.
Okay.
I have
trying to see if I can show it here.
1 frame of Aerobots and then 4 frames of Optimus.
Right. So that might be too bright. Maybe you can see it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you got the continuation of mine.
Yeah, so I liked having the Optimus one there because that's a great picture. And if I can get a really good picture of it, I tried scanning it and it didn't come through. This is the Starscream one, and that's a really good picture of Starscream. This is not the best way of showing it, but at least it's not black. So, and then the other one here I picked up. This is Megatron and Starscream during the episode, and so I was really happy to get these 3 things. And again, those last 2 are 5 frames, and so when I was looking at the Optimus one, I only gotten 4 frames. I thought maybe I got ripped off, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I actually got 2 for free on the last 2. So yeah,
but no, you got ripped off.
It's okay. I was just happy to be able to get those things because those I did not even fathom that would be available at the show. So I was really happy to get that.
I put in our Discord and our Donatrons chat picture of mine and then how I took the picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that.
So.
The last thing I got is something that arrived after I got home from TFcon, and I had ordered it knowing that I might see the pieces at TFcon. I did, but I wasn't 100%. So I just I ordered it anyway, and they were the last two components for my Magic Square Devastator, and I've spent some time this week and put them together, and you may have gotten a tip from that I was going to show this off if you looked at my Twitter, because I did post some pictures on Twitter that I had this. But this thing is absolutely remarkable, the engineering that's into this legend scale Devastator. Yes, it does cheat a little bit because the hips and the thighs are, one giant piece that, just kind of clips into the long haul and then the legs. But that's the only piece on here that does that. So
hips do lie.
The hips are lying here, yeah. But other than that, this thing here is completely transformable, and all the pieces do what they're supposed to do. And then the pieces that are like detachable, they all combine into some drill thing that you can use on its own. So they're not useless. But I love this thing. This is incredibly well engineered. Sometimes some people might even say over engineered, because the figures are really complex for what they are. If this thing was scaled up to masterpiece scale, this would be a masterpiece, combiner. I am thoroughly impressed with what they've done at this scale. So each one of these 2-packs, there are 3 2-packs, and each one of them was about $130 Canadian, which I guess would have been about $100 US. So this is an expensive legend scale figure here, but I am really quite impressed with what they were able to accomplish here. And this thing was in direct competition with the New Age Devastator. And I've been fairly vocal on the fact that I really wasn't happy with the amount of cheating that it did. But again, this thing here is incredibly well engineered, and you can see on the back how well it it kind of puts together. And all of the stuff here on the back is part of the individual figures as well. So yeah, it's I'm going to post some more pictures when I get a chance to actually take some, but it's very articulated. It holds everything really well. I was doing some shots because I do have the other Legend Scale Devastator with me, because I bought it. It's from DX9. And this thing here is a piece of junk by comparison. Like absolute garbage. And, this is a bunch of years difference. But yeah, it's very interesting to see the amount of engineering, the technology that comes through over the course of a few years. But yeah, I'm really quite happy that I went in on this Devastator. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, but that's all I'm going to show for this week. I think I've got a bunch of other stuff that I can show off in weeks coming up. Again, the arms on this guy, they're here. He's heavy. He's really heavy. But again, we'll save that for another week.
I may have held back some TFcon stuff too as well. So we'll see.
I was wondering.
Good.
I know some stuff you got that you didn't talk about.
Yeah, I held some stuff back too.
Okay, that'll do it for this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and we will move on to convention news.
All right, it is convention season for sure, and we have a bunch of news coming up, starting out with Anime Expo 2022. There was and I'm sorry for mispronouncing this. This is a Japanese convention, I believe, and they had a panel on the Transformers Bishujo series. I believe that's where we had the like we talked about last week with that Megatron, the anime girl Megatron. And then they had an in-panel vote for the next character to do. And does it surprise anyone that Starscream won?
No,
I don't think so. So, we'll see if it happens. But I think we already have a Bumblebee coming as the next one. So it'll be Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, and then looks like Starscream would be the fourth. That was likely the plan all along. I mean, if that was, if I were designing a Transformers line, those were the 4 I would start with. But the panel could choose between Jazz, Starscream, and Soundwave. And, they clearly went with Starscream. Moving on, we have a lot of SDCC news now that they're returning to in-person. We have the Transformers product reveal, which will be Thursday, July 21st, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, room 29AB if you were going to be there. And then at 6 p.m. Pacific time, there's going to be a panel in room 9, animation story editors. What do they do? So this will have Craig Miller from Pocket Dragon Adventures, Nicole Dubois or Dubuc. I am so sorry. She was on My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic and Transformers Rescue Bots. Bob Skur, who I mentioned on Trips to the Store, worked on Extreme Ghostbusters and Transformers Beast Machines. Patrick Reiger, who was on Unikitty and Bath Wheels. Holly Huckins, who's from Rugrats and Hamsters of Hamsterdale. And Chris Doc Wyatt, who is on Marvel Spider-Man and Transformers BotBots. So lots of Transformers representation there on that panel. I am sure that'll be fun. Talking all about what story editors do and how you become one and stuff. So that's fun, but I think the big thing of that day will be the product reveal, which will have Ben from Hasbro Marketing and Evan from Hasbro Design going through a lot of the new legacy toy reveals. So that will be Thursday. And then we also have a press release from Hasbro about SECC. So in addition to that panel we just talked about, there's going to be a Nickelodeon Transformers Earthspark panel Friday, July 22nd at 2:15 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. in room 6A. This will, you'll get to meet the next generation of heroes from the new animated series. It looks like this will feature the voice talent, including Danny Pudi, who's doing Bumblebee, Catherine Kavari, who's voicing Twitch, Xena Robinson, who voices Thrash, along with co-executive producer Dale Malinowski and executive producer Ant Ward. And you'll get a behind-the-scenes look at art, casting, and get some never-before-seen clips, which, if it's anything beyond the 10 seconds we've gotten, it's never before seen. So that is, I'm definitely interested in what comes out of that, because that series we know almost nothing about. That will be it for Hasbro at SECC. And then the last thing we have here is IDW Publishing is going to have Livia Ramidelli and EJ Sue in a signing Thursday, July 21st from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. booth 2729. So if you want to get anything signed from those two, go and check that out. One last thing we have in convention news is our friend Mike Seibert sent this over to us just to remind us. Cybfest Northwest is July 23rd at the Kent Commons Community Center in Kent, Washington, which is about 20 miles south of Seattle. It is a one-day convention, has a kids open play area, has fan panels, including one with IDW artists that has Billy Montfort and Blackie Shepherd, who have all worked on IDW Transformer comics. There's trivia contest, an art contest that is judged by the aforementioned IDW artists, raffles, and the show will close out with Mike Seibert doing a live version of his podcast, the Mike Seibert Radio Podcast. And admission is only $10 for adults, $5 for children, 5 to 12. Under 5, they're free. And they have a family rate, $25 for 2 adults and 2 to 5 children. So that's pretty cool. So you can go to cybfestnw.com. That's cybfestnw.com and get all of the information. So that always sounds like such a fun convention, and one day is easy to get in and out. So
and Apollo will be there too. So
yes, Apollo will be there too. So you can go meet her. So yeah, it just sounds like a fun show. So that is everything for convention news. And Daryl, you are going to have a lot of work in the toy show next week because of SDCC. So just warning you now.
I'm going to try and stay up on it all week long. So that's going to be the biggest job.
All right. Let's finish up the show with a little bit of feedback. Okay, we got a little bit of feedback, and this comes from YouTube. So our YouTube video, the version of episode 493. This comes to us from Toxic Wheels, who I think we've had some feedback from them before several times. So thanks for writing in, Toxic Wheels. They say, "Hey there, Transmissions crew. Don't know if you still do feedback on YouTube comments or if you take feedback on episodes from 2 weeks ago. We do both, so you're welcome." But I wanted to leave something from episode 492. I myself have pre-ordered Tonkator, the Tonka crossover with the Constructicons. As a fan of the G1 cartoons, I liked the way the Constructicons were played on that show. And having grown up with Tonka trucks when I was young, this set seemed like a perfect match for me. Back in the day before I could walk, I'd squeeze my rear end into the back of a Tonka dump truck and scoot across the floor. Silly, I know, but hey, it worked. Well, I guess, whatever will get you going until those legs start working. But yeah, Toxic Wheels, it's great to hear that this Tonkanator speaks to you, as we discussed it earlier in this episode as well, that it didn't speak to me in particular, but I'm happy to see that it speaks to you, and it's something that will bring you joy. So that's great, and enjoy your Tonkanator.
Then there is no pleasing you, Charles.
I'm quite pleased. I'm vicariously pleased through Toxic Wheels.
Out of context, that sounded pretty strange.
Don't clip that out of the episode. Okay, well, that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. As always, we end the show by giving a shout out to our masterpiece donatrons. So thank you once again to John 4X11Good and Demon Tech 82. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for continuing to support the show at our highest level on Patreon, and that's why we give you a shout out in every episode. And Mike, of course, it's great to have you on as always. Anything else you want to plug beyond the awesome, amazing, outstanding Empire of Rust?
Well, take a look at the YouTube videos for the deck building game that we put up next week. It was a very fun time. It was a lot of work for me to put the video together. If any of you have watched the Will Wheaton tabletop, or I think it's called tabletop shows.
It was a great series.
Yeah, it really was, and I wish they did more seasons than just the 3 they had. I was kind of inspired by that a bit, so I tried to make it as easy to follow along, and showed like the cards in higher detail and everything like throughout the entire thing. So put a lot of work into it. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, let me know. We might do it again once the Decepticon version comes out or the expansion comes out.
All right. Yeah. And we will definitely make sure to highlight that on our social media everywhere, so you'll know as soon as the videos go live, and definitely check them out and let Mike know. Let us all know what you think, but let Mike know in particular, because he put a lot of work into that. All right. That'll do it for this episode of Transmissions. Thanks everyone for listening. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, all.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.